get 'em up downtown. Creeps to keep it crawling, drugs to keep it falling, teasers keep it teasing, holy Joe's a preaching, cops to keep it busting, hustlers keep it hustling, death that keeps it knocking, souls are up for auction, and no use in playing, that's the way it's staying, baby. Johnny is so crazy, he's always got a line for the lady. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Ain't no use in playing, that's the way it's staying, baby. Johnny is so crazy, he's always got a line for the lady. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off.
Hey, hey, hey.
Get your rocks off, honey.
Get your rocks off, honey.
This is Emma Daggers, speaker, preacher and all-round teacher.
And this be Passionate Peter.
Oh, and heaven, do you know, hold back the gates of heaven if I ever lose my passion for things like this.
Absolutely.
'Cause
Welcome
Welcome.
to our front room. Welcome to you all. Don't know who we're talking to tonight, but I'm sure we'll be speaking to somebody out there. Welcome to our humble abode. And we have got a nice intimate gig tonight, haven't we?
We haven't we? Yeah.
I like it because it's all newy. So looking at all these beautiful faces, I do want to say smile, guys. Come on, smile. You handsome bunch. Should we whip round the room and see who's in? Because it's quite a smaller Luff Lounge tonight, isn't it? So we've got more airtime.
Yeah.
Because I want to bring a few things to the table.
It's still got a real strong community focus, though, hasn't it?
Absolutely, as you will find out.
The lineup tonight made up of guys who were plugged live and direct into the community.
Yeah. Just on that, I have noticed that our Kevin's not in the house. However, I do want to say that I found out the other day that you can nominate frontline key workers that are out there on the streets, whether that's the nurses in the hospital, the drug workers in the treatment centres, or the soldiers on the streets handing out the naloxone and the food, the prison officers in the prisons. And if you go on to COVID-19 honours nomination forms, you can actually nominate people that are frontline workers supporting the most vulnerable, providing critical care, so that'd be the nurses, developing innovations to support the vulnerable, which I'm sure, Dan, we can talk about in a bit, and volunteering in the community for service organisations in support of those affected. So I'm thinking now, I've got loads of people in my mind, because I know for a fact I'm going to nominate a few people that I know are out there working. I know we've got organisations. And I do say as well, when you come on the Luff Lounge, take your corporate hat on and come in as yourself.
Take it off.
Take it off. Yeah. Did I say on?
Yeah, you said take it on.
I mean, take it off and come in as yourself. So I've got a few people I'll be nominating. So if you want to start nominating people that you know are out there doing it, I think it's a beautiful thing for somebody to receive.
So that's on gov.uk. That's the COVID-19 honours
Honours
nomination form.
Yeah.
Fill it in, and do you get a medal? Do you get
get a
some kind of
medal.
recognition?
You get recognition as a hero, you know, because there are some heroes, soldiers on the streets out there.
Well, there's loads that aren't really visible.
Yeah.
There's
Unsung
loads of them who are
heroes.
doing work, just getting on behind the scenes, getting on with it, and this is a great way of saying thank you to them, because I think everyone likes to be recognised, don't they?
Yeah, and as a service user rep, and at the heart of what I do is about service users. A lot of our service users who I advocate for don't have phones to access this platform, or believe me, they will be piling in if they could. So if anyone has got spare laptops out there, or, you know, any equipment that they'd like to donate to us so that our people can access groups like this, feel free. Let us know in the comments box. And without further ado.
So before we get into introducing who we have got on the show, let's just give a shout out to Glenn Ireland, who we haven't got on. He's been on every week, hasn't he? So our Glenn is here. He's religiously relentless every week, in week in, week out. He's there supporting, doing a lot, as are some of the other guys behind the scenes. But he's had a boiler, so hurry up and get your boiler fixed, Glenn.
Hurry up back.
And if he fixes the boiler before the end of the show, because we know you're watching, just ring the doorbell.
Is he watching?
And you can come in. Yeah, he will be.
He's not popped up yet. He's doing it secretly.
Right,
then.
you're taking my airspace again, darling. Watch them hand and head movements. Have you done
Especially
the
when I get excited like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, shout out Glenn and hurry up back. So, to the left of my screen, as I see it, we've got Lal Naransing and brother to Mike. What a guy Mike Naransing is. Shout out Mike Naransing first.
Hello, Mike.
But we've got the younger brother.
Yeah.
Lal's the younger brother to Mike. Hiya, Lal.
How you doing?
Who are you?
And where are you from, love?
Who are you?
I'm a man. Come from Wivington, South Manchester.
Posh part.
It was all right. Yeah, it was. I've got 4 older brothers. It's not just Mike. All City fans. Grew up in the 70s. We kind of we could handle ourselves, but we generally behaved ourselves. I got into a little bit of trouble with psychoactive drugs and all that, and it wasn't good for my mental health.
Yeah.
And that's where my story comes when it comes to working in this field, really. So I experienced kind of what they call acute intoxication. So that was like you have serious mental health problems, but you wear off when the drug wears off.
Yeah.
So I experienced that for quite a bit of time until it came to a point where I thought this might come into something called drug-induced psychosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of the motivator to make change. So, and that was a slow process because I did stop using, but still things weren't great. Life didn't suddenly get better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a long process where I went through education. So I didn't go down a recovery route. I think besides NA, I don't think there really was one back in.
Wasn't one about then, though, was there?
I don't think so. So it was a slow process because I was still left with anxiety, paranoia, things like that, social awkwardness, all that kind of poor communicator in social situations, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was a really slow process. So I got into mental health because I felt that would be a place where people would be understanding and empathetic in terms of work. And I started off as a nursing assistant in Meadowbrook in Salford.
Can I just hold you right there? Because we're still on the introductions.
No, but it's telling a little bit. I think this is really
I
important.
want to come back to that.
Okay, all right.
Space to get into it. And Emma's telling me off right now, but let's just get through the introductions.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We'll come back to you, Lal. Thanks, mate. And that was a really brave thing you did there. So, well, it's done. And you know, I think we've always got to introduce people. Going down below is Mags. Hiya, Mags.
Hi guys.
Welcome to the Live Luff Lounge.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here. Yeah, so I'm Mags. Professionally, I'm the community connector for North Lancashire. Personally, I'm in 12 years recovery, so I'm really passionate about recovery community and getting the word out there. And I'll say a little bit about that in a bit. All right, guys. But yeah, no, it's great to be here.
Cheers, Mags. But first and foremost, you're here as Mags.
Force for good.
A force for good.
And
good.
You're not baking pasties anymore in Greg's.
Oh, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Say a little bit about that in a bit, a little bit about my journey and how. Yeah.
Thanks, Mags. It's lovely to see you.
And then we've got Jay Mayo. Jay, welcome to the Live Luff Lounge.
Thanks, Pete. Hiya, Emma. Thanks for having us.
Hiya, love.
Hiya. So it's Jay Mayo. The work at is I'm a community connector for Emerging Futures, part of the New Youth team. Alongside that, but most importantly, I'm me. I'm in recovery. I'm a father of 6. I'm a fish husband. I'm also married to Emma. I've got
Hi,
6
Emma.
and a cat. She's out. She's gone out with kids. She'll be back in a bit though.
Oh.
She's camera shy and all.
We'll have to get her on when she comes in. We can all say hi.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't mind sharing a little bit of my story later and how I come to be on here. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
And then over to Dan Sale. Welcome to the Live Luff Lounge, Dan.
Hey, so this is my first time on the Live Luff Lounge. So first of all, let me just apologise for my signal, because if it's crackling, it's because of where I am. It's terrible signal down here. But basically, yeah, I'm an ex-user. I'm only just clean again this time. I've been on and off the drugs since I was 11-year-old. I'm from Preston, Prestonian. I'm 36-year-old, and I'm just I'm keen to climb the ladder again, and I know where I went wrong and that this time, so it's just try and get my feet firmly grounded and work my way back up and fix them little issues and get it tweaked.
Yeah, and I just want to say that you're coming in tonight live and direct from the hotel, aren't you, Dan?
Yeah, Purple Room, yeah, which is where they've housed all the homeless through the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, there's a lot of people here who, like you said before, Emma, who would be logging on to this if they had the access to it, but you know, they don't. A lot of them are. Yeah, I know you are.
We're on it.
Yeah, we are, and they're thankful for that. I keep hearing it. You know, they all keep approaching me and saying, you know, when's she coming down with that, and so it's good to hear that some of them, you know, they're keen as well.
I know. So we've got Purple Rooms in the house. Boy.
Whoop, whoop.
Fantastic.
Whoop, whoop.
Nice one.
Beautiful to see you, mate. Beautiful. Nice one for getting on the room at such last notice as well.
So
yeah, no problem.
Right.
Dan's our inside man.
Dan's going to be a leader in the rooms, and you're going to be responsible for the laptop. I will get to you.
Oh, and she's serious about it.
For the guys, so that the guys in the Purple Rooms, before they move on to somewhere else in Preston, while they're there, they can access the groups that are available and that are going on, because there's a group every single day that they can get involved with. There's meetings at night they can get involved with. And I know there's a crewies there that would if you could. So I am your midpoint allegiance. I am on it. I'm going to get you on. I've already shouted out. If anyone's got any spare ones, donate them. But I have got a little tablet for you, and you will be the leader to teach someone else to lead when you leave, because we've just referred you on to somewhere else on Friday. So you'll be out of there soon.
I'm really looking forward to hearing your story, your experience, and your hopes for the future, Dan. So we'll speak to you, come back to you shortly.
Welcome back, Dan.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Mick Fleming, who's sending the Dancer for Cancer viral.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's done really well. It's got over 1 million in a week. So
How was it?
that's kind of crazy. So get on it. So get on it. We're really, really thrilled. And also what it's doing is it's giving us opportunities to talk to people, some who were dying, some who were struggling with faith, just looking for a different way out. Some looking for recovery through their own illnesses. So I'm buzzing with that. So I'm Pastor Mick Fleming anyway from Church on the Street Ministries, and we do what it says, Church on the Street. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Did you see our dance, Mick?
I did. I was very impressed with Pete's leg movement.
Pete's dad dancing.
Yeah, pretty good. Little wiggle, legs going.
But my young ones are too weak. They just think they're too cool for school, so they just stood there and like did silly things.
Yeah, but I'm like, you talk about a midpoint allegiance. I'm a midpoint allegiance between your total freedom and utter ecstasy and really stiff, rigid, oh my God, people are watching, I can't let loose. So I'm like kind of halfway in between, on a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
But you are amazing, and I love you.
Oh, what do you want?
I just want you to know that I am so appreciative of you and that you are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And I want you guys to know that this is a space for you and that your voice can be heard. I would say, getting on with the show, this week's value is legacy.
But I do, sorry, I am going to have to keep doing this all the way through.
Your hand's right all over me, boat race.
I'm sorry. I am going to have to keep coming in because we haven't got an MC in the room tonight. So Lisa Grain is in the house. Hi, Tony Lee. Lisa's coming on next week. She couldn't come on. Kathy Radden, Joe Duckfield, Bev Webster. Hi, Bev. Christine Barker, Peter Abbott. We have got Andy P. Alex Campbell says, hi, Mags. Rick Bollins, nice to see you. Richard, can you like and share? Possibly win £20. Lena, Lisa in the house. Andy Owens watching. Andy, where are you? And where's Kevin? James Rook. Brian Porter, nice to see you, Brian. And Elaine
Peter
Shaw.
Abbott is saying that you can't see everyone. Is that normal? Well, you should be able, because we've got it on gallery view. You should be able to see everyone.
But he might be thinking, because it's an intimate gig tonight, it's a New You gig, that there should be more screens. There is actually only 6 screens tonight. Oh, Bev's on it anyway. Okay, so guests.
Anyway, guests. Values, legacy. That's our value for tonight, legacy. And I'm just going to read out what legacy means to us. Building sustainable recovery for service users, families and communities. Enabling people to see themselves as assets, not addicts, or survivors, not victims. Building resilience in individuals, families and communities. Supporting people in recovery to rebuild their confidence and realise their potential. Engaging people in developing new skills and talents. Creating opportunities for people in recovery to rebuild their lives. And I was reading a paper that David Best has written around inclusive cities recovery and inclusive cities creating some sustainable inclusivity. They come up with lots of other academic words, but there was one paragraph, I posted it on the Wells, that one of the meetings Dave Iam has shared around people in long-term recovery. I think you might have been on that, Jay, I'm not sure. But I posted the comment section, a quote from David Best, and what he was saying was along the lines of people perceive addicts and addiction, people who were struggling with substance misuse. Society perceives those people as being worse than someone who's got obese or being... They want to distance themselves more from addicts than they do people who are obese and people who've got mental problems. And that what surprised me, that doesn't change. That perception of the community does not change when people get into recovery and become abstinent. So there's still a lot of stigma. And I think in terms of a legacy, if we know what gets people well is bringing them into the centre of communities. In terms of a legacy, we've got to create opportunities. Now, I know you've come up against a bit of opposition when it comes to getting resources for people in the purple rooms, because the perception is, oh, you're ready to flow, aren't you?
He asked me, I'm on the edge of my
perception
chair
is that you'll just rob it. The perception is that we'll land an iPad or a piece of equipment into you and it'll go west. Now, Emma has a different view on that, which she's going to articulate.
I just wanted to, a few things there that you said, Pete. Legacy for me is leaving something behind and leaving the ladder down so that other people, you know, can climb on it. Or if I die tomorrow, things will still go on, but I've left something of me behind. There's enough of me behind for you to carry on. And for me, you know, I think we do make a statement and we do leave a legacy, and there isn't as much stigma when you come through and you are consistent, because your behaviour then deciphers what you do. So I know for a fact I could go into where a hotel where people have put the homeless and create an environment where we can leave a piece of equipment, you know, organise a system where the community take lead and they will honour that, unlike anybody else that could do that, because I see myself as a peer.
How many times, and this is a question for the viewers as well, how many times have you come to a Lancashire User Forum and immersed yourself in, you know, a space where there's over 100 people who have, you know, got those labels, and you've lost something and it hasn't been stolen, it's been handed back in. And I think that's really, you know, that epitomises what we're saying.
Yeah. So again, if anyone's got any laptops, if anyone's got any laptops out there, donate, even if it's just one or two. I have put some funding in, and Red Rose has got a little tablet. But I just want to say, shout out to Kate Egan, a loyal watcher. Thanks, Kate. I did want to speak to you this week about some surveys we're going to do, so I will phone you on Monday. Christine Barker, hi Christine, my lawn is in the house.
Nicola Plum, hi Nikki.
Yes, hi Blackpool in the house. I do want to just say I am...
Nikki next week.
Yeah, Nikki, come on next week.
Come on next week, Nikki.
Do some good stuff in Blackpool, aren't they? And also I know Karen Brown wanted the voice of the service users in Blackpool, so there might be a piece of work there. However, just on the service user voice a minute, there is a Survey Monkey link that I have sent out for, that's for me specifically doing outreach for the entrenched service users. So if there is anyone out there, North and Central, that is watching, that is accessing services in North and Central, just give us a shout out in the comments box and we can get that to you. Christine Barker says never. She's never been to a Lancashire User Forum and had something nicked. Yeah. So of course not, darling. Yeah. Of course not. Yeah, but I'm talking. I've lost my phone a few times, and you know, £700-800 piece of kit. Yeah. That always comes back to me. Always. Yeah. It's. I just think stigma, isn't it? It's what we're up against. Yeah. All the time. So now we're on a different platform. We're on a digital platform, and your phone's right in front of you. It is, yeah. But I am zooming right into at least 21 people's world, welcome. And over the space of a week, you know, that number will increase. So hit the like and share button, guys. Yeah, and the lottery are giving funding for laptops. I know, Nikki, I'm on it. Love, I filled one in. So just how things have changed is what my heart is thinking now. How things have changed from back in the day when we did silo work, and it was a very competitive process, wasn't it? Yeah. And I think we produced a lot of competition in the recovery community depending on what service you fell out of, and how you got schooled in the service to how you behaved in the community. And to bring all that together, I know that in North and Central Lancs, there was a great vision for a new U team. Now, I'm just going to hand over to Lal, because Lal, can you just, because I know that all the watchers, and we get over 5,000 views, and people from North and Central get it, but I was in a meeting in the East the other day, and they were saying, what is it? So they don't actually, there are people out there that don't know us. Did you know that?
What, really?
Yeah.
You mean we're not the centre of the universe?
I know, right?
I know.
So I just thought, Lal, is obviously you can give us a little bit of a flavour of who you are, because I know you have a lived experience, and I think it's really important and beautiful and brave that you shared that, because there's some connection there now. You know, it's like Lal's one of us.
I never knew that. I mean, I've seen you for years walking around. I just perceived you as a, really senior member within the NHS. But you've just shared something that was quite deep and personal, and I wasn't expecting it. And I got told off. If you could see my ankle, it's black under the table from the kicks I was getting. Because when you share deep things like that, it is, we'd have to be mindful and respectful of that. And I hope you don't think for 1 minute I was being disrespectful, Lal.
I think it's a beautiful thing, Lal. Please carry on.
No, not at all. No. I think part of the whole process is about being honest, really, isn't it? So it's a good starting point for me to introduce myself. So I'm more than happy to do that. So just the latter part, really, the last 20 years in terms of moving out of that place and getting into substance misuse and mental health, employment and all that. So that's a 20-year journey, which involved, like I said, Meadowbrook, Salford Mental Health. And then I moved over to what's now called Chapman Barker Unit, and it was called Kenyon House back in the day.
And Glentop. And
then and then I worked in Manchester. Then it was Preston, Wigan and Lee, and then Trafford, and then back over here. And my roles changed over time, and some of that. So a lot of it was clinical stuff. So this bit I'm doing now is I took a leap of faith with that, because it was out of the comfort zone, and I was going into completely new territory. And I was really happy going for it, because it did a lot for like my confidence and change. When you have some confidence in going for something and it involves change, it's really enriching. So that's been a really good journey for me. And so I've been in this role for about 18 months with GMMH, and now about 18 months with CGL in this community development area and service user representation. So there's been lots of change. Sometimes I think too much change can be a little bit overwhelming, but you adjust, you acclimatise to it, and I feel like I think really some really good things are going to happen. We've had the pre-COVID stuff and how services worked, and then we've had the COVID stuff and how things have worked. And then we've got to think about post-COVID and how that's going to work. And I think when you say new you, I say new you do normal, because there's going to be a lot of that. So that's me present, up to date.
So what's your role now, Lal?
So it's a mixture of asset-based community development and service user representation.
Yeah. So any of the service user reps that I identify, will go over to Lal to be trained. So that's Danny. I've got my eyes on you for that. So Danny meet Lal, Lal meet Danny. And I just think it's lovely that you shared a little piece to yourself there, because that, it is, and it's good for people to get to know you as well, because it's not easy starting a new role as well. And sometimes I think there's an assumption on us that we know what we're doing. And I just think we get more support and more help if we can actually, I know for me anyway, if I can be honest, and that took me a while, to be able to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't know what I'm doing, can you help me? And that's when an abundance of help come in, and it's like, oh, I thought you were going to punish me. but we're not in that system anymore. It's not one of punishment, is it? It's like, I don't feel it is, or maybe that's my perspective around support and not punish. Oh, there's a strap line in there. You know, about, because that's how the medical model was, Lal, back in the day. I remember you from Cheetham Hill. I remember you from Glentock with Paul Allen. You know, when we all did our Smart for training with Fraser Ross. And back in the day, then if you relapsed, you was punished. You know, you got, if you did a negative positive sample, you was punished. There wasn't much support to be pushed into. You know, there wasn't like what we've got now. So
I think I agree. It's not punitive, but there's still parts of the system that prevent us from bringing ourselves to the party. Yeah. So, big shout out to the Well, our other peer-led organisation in Lancashire and Cumbria. Yes. They've just had a peer review posted by Professor David Best, and one of the things that grabbed my attention was Dave's opening gambit, where he says what we do is we take people to meetings and we add them as mates on Facebook. You know, we embrace them as people, not just clients, as service users. And I just thought that's a beautiful thing, because I didn't always know that there was people like you, Lal. You know, I didn't know that you've had that rich life experience. And when I was entrenched in that thinking distortion that I lived in, I thought that unless you understood, because you'd experienced what life was like for me, I didn't want to listen to you. And I know that's not true. You don't have to have had that experience to be able to love and respect somebody. But it would have helped me as an individual at that point if somebody could have met me where I was, instead of continually demanding that I meet them where they are and that I must jump through these. There's a bit of a lump coming in my throat as a mentally revisit some of that, because it was
trauma, love.
It's trauma, yeah. You know, the system traumatised me. The system that was meant to help me didn't. And I say that, it's like, oh.
However, look at what the contributions that lived experience teams they now sit in systems designs meetings. They now have a voice at the table. That's how far we've come.
Some organisations do.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
Not all. Not all systems do. And they should, because, that paper I was talking about, that David Best written, Inclusive Cities, there's your case for it. You know, people in recovery should be involved at every level.
And I suppose as well, there's a big torrent of debate could come around what is recovery. What people in recovery? What is that? People, service users as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So as a voice for the service user, which I am, there will always be somebody in service not far behind me. You know, in fact, at the side of me, if not in front, and I'll be leading from the back. So, Lal, part of the your asset-based community development and service user lead role is across North and Central Lancs, isn't it?
It is.
With the new you.
Yeah. So, pre-COVID, it looked differently. And it wasn't efficient, I think, now on reflection, when you think of all the driving you do, the different parts, the different cities and towns, to meet up with somebody, you know, it is all good. But looking at it now, where you have all these Zoom meetings, all this social media stuff, where you don't have to do all of that kind of thing, and things are really much more efficient. So I think that might be part of what happens moving forward. So I was doing a lot of promotional stuff pre-COVID around New You, because I think the idea of what New You is and how to communicate it is a process, because everybody's trying to, those involved in it, those who are in New You, are learning what it is.
Yeah.
So until that concept is solidified, then it's not always easy to communicate it to everybody else.
Yeah.
So I've always felt part of my role was pulling all that together.
Yeah.
the different subcontractors, and always reinforcing, like classical conditioning, new you, new you, new you.
Yeah.
And so just reinforcing that whole concept, and I'll continue to do that. And the other bit for me is pulling service user representation into and linking it in with what goes on with New You.
Yeah.
And building those bridges. So, for instance, I was in a service user forum on Friday, your service user forum on Friday, and I put a question to the forum because Active Lancashire were asking a question about providing yoga in Skelmersdale.
Yeah.
I knew one of your workers has got real good subject matter expert knowledge of what goes on in Skelmersdale.
Hi, Lynn. Yeah. Yeah.
So I posed that question to her, and obviously, Lynn, you're going to run with that. But the other bit was really good. Was one of your volunteers put the suggestion, why not use gazebos? Because the question was, could you find outdoor cover to do this, and also social distance?
Yeah. So
he came up with the idea of gazebos. Yeah. So I'm going to go back to Active Lancashire with that suggestion.
Yeah.
But that's just a lovely way where service user voice
absolutely
can potentially influence what goes on with New You.
Between us and Active Lancashire, who are probably they're running a live stream as well.
Oh, they're not?
Yeah, at the same time. But we've got a gazebo and they've got a gazebo. So why not just share instead of having to go and get more gazebos? I know they've got one, I know we've got one, and the big gazebos.
Yeah.
So
assets, tapping into them assets. But it is great, isn't it, Lal? And it's just, we've just birthed this. So it's like the forums, the service user forums have all merged together as well. So it's like one place now where we can signpost everyone to. So if they are living in St Anne's, because in North and Central, there are 7 Inspire sites, and each area is very culturally different. You won't get the feedback from Preston like you do in St Anne's. So each part of the New You in them 7 sites is completely different. So I think bringing it all together on one platform is good. I think you'll be getting loads of feedback. And part of Lal's job as well is to feed that in to district managers. So if anybody out there, you, Danny and all the guys in the purple rooms, and I know I've done the Survey Monkey with you, however, if you want to input on what does Inspire look like moving forward, then give me your ideas, tell me, and we'll feed it right in, because they want to provide the best service possible. And if they get any wrong, let's tell them.
Well, let's ask Dan.
We are going to. Yeah.
Dan?
Hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've already been thinking about that. I've had people asking me questions and that from here, and like they're saying, what do you think? And that. I said, well, why don't you put it forward to Emma and Pete? And one of the suggestions was to have like a notepad or something on reception, just so that people can ask their own questions, and then like obviously when you come down, we'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's people been asking all different manners of things,
Just so I can capture this, I know that Lorna Simpson's watching. Lorna, can you take minutes? Dan's saying get a notepad in the purple rooms. I just want to give a massive shout out now to Jack and the purple rooms. He works really closely with me to enable spaces like what we are going to make happen. But Dan can tell you that. Sorry, Dan, go on.
Yeah, just the turnover in here is quite rapid. So like you're constantly seeing changing faces, and I think you've got a big window here to you can capitalise on the people who are coming through here, because a lot of them they're not aware of it. Sorry, people.
Can I just, because we've got like 50 people watching live, so hit the like and share button, because this is really important stuff. For those of you that don't know what the Purple Rooms is, do you want to just give a brief explanation of where you're at, Dan?
Yeah, so basically it's where they've housed all the homeless because of the COVID-19. They had to get the homeless off the streets. So it's like a hotel. It's basically a hotel in Bamber Bridge in Preston.
And why are you there?
I'm there because I was in recovery homes, and I was doing all right, but things were getting to me. I weren't really. Things went downhill for me because I dropped off. I stopped volunteering, I stopped going to groups. I just started putting my energy into other things, thinking that I was all right, and I wasn't. I wasn't. Numerous things in me, but yeah, I'm here because I had a lapse, a relapse, got booted out, and I had nowhere else to go. So yeah, in a way, it helped me turn things around. It gave me, I've stopped using now, so I haven't used anything for probably about 2.5 weeks now, and I'm on a prescription, but I've been lowering myself. They put me on 12 ml of Espinor, and I've which is what I was on the last time I was on Espinor, and it took me like 7 months to get off. So I just brought myself to 8, and that holds me. It takes me less time to come off. I don't know what to say really. I'm just thankful now that I'm my head above water and I'm seeing things clearly again. I'm keen to climb the ladder, and I need to engage more with services because that's where I went wrong last time. It's just there's a lot of people in here who want to get clean and do well, but I've no idea of how to do it, and it's hard for me. Although I'm people are coming to me asking questions because they know I'm talking to you guys and seeing you come down here and talk to them yourselves. Yeah, they want to know how to do it, but I'm just trying to point them in your direction really and let you guys
So I know throughout that experience you've had, some of our guys have been shoulder to shoulder right the way through it.
Yeah.
And I think that investment in you now, I hope, will pay dividends in those people's lives, because Emma's coming back and telling me stories about you as a leader and the vision she's got for you, Dan, even while you're in there now. His boss, it's exciting just to hear about it.
And you're here, you're on the Zoom room, man. You're out in the ether, whilst in the purple rooms. It's just amazing. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, I'm all right with that. I need to do that. I need to put my energy into things now because, here is hard work. It can be hard work because you hear things that you don't want to hear, and there are people doing things that maybe they shouldn't be. But I'm just keen to they see me doing well, and they're all saying that. Even the people here are saying that, and I've had people come up to me and say, I'm doing well on the back of you doing well, and it just makes me feel good. You know what I mean?
And that's why you're a leader, because people are following you. You're not a leader if you're going for a walk on your own.
So tell me then, sorry.
There's others coming behind you. So I know for a fact that we do outreach on a Friday, me and Kev. Massive shout out to Kev, as ever, who should be in here but isn't. And I know we've handed out over 70 naloxone. I know we've engaged with over 1,000 people during COVID. However, my heart is with the rooms at the minute because I know you don't have access to anything remotely recovery based. Hence why I want to get you a laptop. But I know there was a group of you all waiting on Friday for us to arrive. And the potential is beautiful. But the relationship we've got with the manager as well, whilst we've built that over these last few weeks, is going to enable us to create a space where we can bring together belonging and purpose. And then when entrenched people see that happening, they will follow, Dan. And you've got your phone on you as well, so we're going to try and get you a phone so you can do some more surveys while you're in there as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I've had numerous people telling me they want to get engaging in these Zoom meetings, so that's all good.
Brilliant.
It can't be easy for you in there, so when you hit them little air pockets and, you know, life gets even more harder than what it is, how do you get through them?
At the moment, like I said, I'm only like, what, 2.5 weeks back on track now. So I just take myself off, speak to people, you know, close friends, whatever. Take my mind off it, really. But if I'm totally honest with you, although I can access the Zoom meetings, I haven't done it as of yet, and these are all little things that I need to put into practice, because it'll only happen again if I don't start doing it myself. You know what I mean? And if people are looking to me now, then they want to see me doing it. You know, I've had a few people today telling me that they want to do it with me. So, you know, as soon as I think, what are we now? Monday. I think I'm gonna jump on the Zoom meetings, and hopefully I'll have people with me. You know.
Well, on Monday, I'm coming down with the laptop anyway, and we have 2 service user forums during the week. So what would be good, and I know Jack's okayed it, is that we can get 6 socially distanced in reception. But if we need another room, because I think we will do, you know, I see the birth of something amazing here, then Jack's going to empty a first room for us as well. Yeah. So. And I just want to say as well, Dan, something else that's on my heart is there's no rush. I know you're saying you're on prescribed 12 and you're only on 8, and
no, so like no start rush. Again and learn to again.
Yeah.
Dan, so I've got one of your oppos here messaging me. Aww. We don't have to mention his name, but you know who it is. Tell him he needs to listen and not think he can do it on his own.
Because you can't do it on your own.
And the other thing is to say that you're the inside man. You're our man on the inside, who, you know, getting that visible, contagious recovery momentum going. Yeah. And there's opportunities for you, Dan. Real good, meaningful opportunities coming your way.
We are going to get you on the rep training on the 15th, Dan. So I know you clear your diary for that date. Well, I'll give you Dan's details.
So your oppo saying, ask him to tell you about his experience and how he got into prison and stuff like that. You don't have to. He's just saying.
No, so I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I'll just keep it short and sweet for you. But basically, I started taking drugs when I was 11-year-old, mainly just like weed and speed and sniff and stuff like that. But a lot of my friends were like, as I went into high school, all my mates were like 5 years older than me. So, and like my best mate, he was like probably oldest in school or whatever one of. Yeah, they were all like, once they left, I'd gone into year 8, they were all driving and going around Beacon Fell and whatever at Lake District and getting off their heads. And I was going clubbing at 13, taking ease. I spent 2 years of my life on ecstasy. Just some of the, when you look back on it now, some of the stuff, just stupidity and naivety. But then again, if you said to me, would it change any of it? No, because it's made me who I am. You know, and I like who I am. I like parts of who I am. You know, nobody ever looks at themselves and say, "Oh, this is right," and you know, I've got lots of things that are wrong. But you know, it's made me who I am as a person, and I'm a good-hearted person. I'd never, you know, I'd much rather help someone than hurt someone. Me. But yeah, numerous drugs. So yeah, as I got older, just ended up with some girl who I was with for like 8 years, got engaged and lost a baby with her, drinking a lot, ended up going and seeing some guy who took heroin, basically me being a big lad, just bullied him off it, took it off him, started smoking that, and before I knew it, I was buying it and committing crime and all kinds of things, you know, just doing jobs for people, going through people's doors, taking TVs off the wall, money, jewellery, whatever. Because me clean is very different from me in addiction. You know, I don't think it's like it's 2 different people. You know, when I look back on some of the stuff that I've done, I'm like, well, how did I even do that? Because I couldn't imagine me doing any of them things now. But yeah, I ended up doing a robbery anyway, took some money, landed me in prison for 5.5 years. Come out, got recalled, did another 15.5 months, so I did like 4 years and 2 months of a 5.5 year sentence. Thought that everything was going to be all right, because I mean I was engaged in little bits with my in recovery, but not really taking it to heart and taking it seriously, which led me to fall off again. I was going into supermarkets, taking alcohol, whatever it were, off the shelves to sell for money for drugs. It just keeps me going in and out of addiction. For some reason, the last few times it's always been the heroin and crack that I've gone back to. It's really gripped me, like the crack that I could take or leave that, but the heroin, it's just something that I've kept going back to. And I'm sick to death of it. I'm totally honest. I'm sick to death of it. It just wears you down. The disappointment and the hurt that you cause people in your family. I'm touch and go with my family now, because sometimes I don't even know what to say to them, because it's like I feel that distant that I just try and keep things civil, because I'm like, it's almost like I don't feel like I'm a part of it. And I need to bridge them gaps. You know what I mean? I need to try and they're important things in life. The most important thing is family, isn't it? So I need to bridge that gaps, and then it's like hanging around with. I seem to have two sets of mates. Like I have all people who I go to when I'm in addiction, and then I have all my proper mates who want me to succeed and don't really mess with any drugs, and they all work and whatever. And I'm ready now. I'm ready to climb back up that tree and start, hanging around with the right people, making the right decisions. Because I get to a point where I do well. Like I'll run groups and that, and I have done in Inspire, and people tell me that I'm doing well, and for some reason I just self-sabotage. As soon as someone comes up to me, people come up to me and start saying you're doing really well, I just collapse on myself, and I just need to keep, jump in at the deep end this time and see what happens, because every other time I've done that, it's always ended up back in addiction. So the only other way is to keep going and keep moving forward, isn't it?
Press on. Press on.
Keep pressing on, yeah. Yeah, like I said, that's where I'm at now. I don't really want to go back to prison. I don't think anybody can ever say they won't. But I mean, if I can help it, I won't be doing. You know what I mean? It's just make the right moves. Keep trying to help people, keep helping myself, engage in groups. I've always said that I've been nervous to do like NA and stuff, but something tells me that I might have to have a go.
Something tells me that it's time.
Yeah, I think I might have to have a go, because I can't sit here now and tell you that I have the answers and I know what to do, because although I have done in the past and I've said that to people, I don't have the answers, because it wouldn't keep happening. So maybe I do, and I'm not good at letting people tell me what to do. It's not something that it's totally against the grain for me. It's not in my nature to let people tell me what to do. But in this respect, I'm going to have to start putting my trust in others.
And I thought we had an agreement where I have permission.
You can have permission, Emma. Yeah, hit me with a brick. If I disobey, just hit me with a brick.
This is a great meeting. Great meeting on a Thursday night in Preston, and you'll know some of the faces in there, and they love you and they welcome you back with open arms. I've got loads of links for you, Dan. I've got loads of links for all the guys in there. We're going to get a laptop down. We're going to crack it open on Monday, and you can access something every single day. There's groups on every day. There's meetings at night. There's no need to be isolated on your own. There's a lot of love coming in for you. And if you've got any questions for Dan while I just get these.
I just say I miss all them people as well. That's one thing I do actually miss all them people. It's like I've shared stuff with people and I miss them. This COVID thing's really messed things up. I've not recognised this year, with some of this, what we've had of it. It's been unrecognisable for me. And half of that's been living in turmoil. So.
And they've missed you as well, Dan. There's a lot of love coming in from you, Lorna Simpson. He's saying hi. Hi, Nina. Nina's watching. Ray Jenkins in the house. Hello, Ray. Christina Barker is saying, keep going, Dan. Tony Lee. Tony's saying he can get some booklets down to the rooms for the guys in there. Christina Barker again saying it's baby steps. Tony's got access to some great self-help workbooks so the guys in the hotel can work on themselves, which is brilliant. Maybe, Lyle, that's a conversation we can have to get something down there to them. Carol Lund is watching. Hi, Mammy. Joe Duckfield. Peter Abbott said he can print off 500 pages for free if that helps for the workbooks. Alex Campbell, absolutely brilliant work, Dan. You're doing amazing. It's important you feel proud of yourself right now. Tony Lee, please don't jump in the deep end. Take it one step. So it's just for today, Dan.
Yeah.
Today. John T. Smith is saying, hi, Dan. Thank you for sharing. He was addicted to heroin for 25 years. Now he's coming up 19 months clean. Anything you can do to help? There's people falling over themselves wanting to help you.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there's loads of people. Great meetings out there and lots of groups for you to link into, Dan. Don't worry, you are not alone.
You know, we're always with you. That goes without saying. How are the links going with your family? Because I know you've made some like.
Well, I am in contact, but not like I should be. You know, I'm talking. I see them on every couple of months or so. I don't really. And when I sabotage myself, I go off the radar anyway. Like I said, I've got 2 different groups of people that I mix with, and you know, if I don't want to be found, I won't be. And that's what happens when I go into addiction. But I'm just sick of I need to get off that roundabout, and I just feel like I'm ashamed of myself in a way. I don't really know how to approach the situation, and
because often the family members are in just as much pain. Often, and they don't get the types of support networks that we've built. They haven't got that access yet.
However, there is things out there. I think Mags will speak to that in a minute, but there is things out there that we support family members with. There's been a few links in this week as well, just on the outreach we've done.
What about self-sabotage?
I did want to pick that up, yes. So just speaking, Dan, when you're talking about self-sabotage there, that doesn't go away, when you get into recovery, whatever recovery looks like to you. There's a lifelong thing that comes from conditioning. It comes from how we speak to ourselves, how others have spoken into us, our introjects, and that's something that we're constantly working on. But you are not what you tell yourself you are. You wouldn't probably treat a friend or speak to a friend how you speak to yourself.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It's like, I think most people can say that. Like, if I give somebody some advice or whatever, they do well off the back of it. I can't follow my own. If I could, I wouldn't probably be in this situation.
I know.
Anthony's just put a comment on, and he said, "Clean ? Surely drug free." And I think sometimes when we describe it in terms of clean, what it's implying is if you are still using, you're dirty, and that has massive implications on our life chances. Yeah. So if society and housing and employment perceive people as either clean or dirty, it's unhelpful, and maybe that gets internalised as well.
I do think that's a series
good
in
comment,
itself.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, I do think that's another cauldron of debate around, and I think that's cultural again. I think that's come from somewhere. Hi,
Kirsty.
I'm very, very sensitive around words myself, so I tend to choose my words carefully. Don't always get it right. Often apologise, but I'm a stickler for words as well. Lorna's saying about the families, definitely family members. I know Lorna's and Lynn have set up 3 Families Matters mutual age groups, and there's one that they do with Emerging Futures. So I'm just thinking that's
Good
a
link.
nice slide over to our mags.
Yeah.
Dan, we love you. I'll see you Monday.
All
Thanks
right,
for coming
stop with the hand movements on my face because it's like.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening.
Love you,
sorry
Dan.
about the signal. Take care. Bye now.
Hey, hi guys, I'm Mike. Dan, that was fantastic. Do you know what? You should be proud of yourself right now. To come on here and tell your story, you know, I think is amazing, completely amazing. So yeah, I'm Mags. Do you want me to tell you about the family stuff, or do you want me to tell you why I got involved in you in the first place?
Yeah.
A little bit about me. So I'm from Edinburgh. Was in addiction for 16 years, numerous different kinds of drugs, depends what decade it was to what drug I was taking. You know the story. I was lucky enough 12 and a half years ago, to go to rehab in Lancashire, in Lancaster, which was an experience to say the least. But I learned a lot about myself in that time. But when I left rehab, I got taught all this stuff in rehab, you know. When I was in addiction, right, I tried to get out of addiction for years. I'd detox, I'd go into detox, I'd come back out, I'd last 6-8 weeks, and I'd be right back into the madness. And then I'd come out of detox. Well, then I'd go back to detox, maybe get lost for a couple of years, back to detox. I wanted to do something for a long time. I just didn't know how to do it. And I didn't have the people around me to do it. So eventually I thought, do you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. And that's a little bit what you were saying, Dan, that maybe I need to have other people to tell me what to do because I don't know what I'm doing. What I try doesn't work. So I went to rehab. Got taught all these things that you're supposed to have in recovery, you know, all these things that will enhance and help you to stay clean, you know, like meaningful activity, meaningful people around you, all of that sort of stuff. But when I come into the community, there was none of that. There was none of that. Lancashire looked totally different 12 years ago when I come into the community. There was the fellowship, which was fantastic, but that was it. There was nothing else. So, I mean, I didn't get right into the recovery community when I first left rehab. That's because there wasn't one to get to belong to, I don't think, you know. So I went to college, I worked and whatever else. But then, I don't know how long ago it would have been. Would it have been about 8 years ago, Pete and Emma? I don't know.
6. Yeah.
Been longer than that. I think it's been
when you was luffing it.
Yeah. So I started up smart groups in Lancaster and Morecambe because there was nothing alternative to A&NA.
2012, sorry. So 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And from those smart groups, I'd come into contact with a few people who introduced me to the lovely guys that are on here today. So Emma, Pete, and a lot of other people. That was, I don't even know if it was called Red Rose back then, but Luff and Red Rose. So I got involved in all of that stuff. I worked at Greg's at the time. Pete always said to me, you know, you shouldn't be cooking pies, you. But I'll tell you what that gave me, working alongside Luff, well, getting involved in Luff, sitting on committees, on boards, being involved in training like the petal stuff, being around the right kind of people. I suppose it lit a fire in my belly for the recovery stuff. And I thought, actually, do you know what? You can do something special here. Do you know what? As a group, we can change things. So that's how I got involved in the Luff, in bringing people together. And I remember sitting over, I can remember, because you'd be in different meetings with different services and stuff. And I can always remember sitting over the other side of the table with these people with big titles and thinking, you haven't got a clue. You haven't got a clue what it's like on the ground. And no disrespect to them, but I think they were disconnected from it. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try something. I'm going to try and get involved in this and try and make a difference. So I've done a variety of roles. I was a brickworker for a while. Then I went to work in rehab, and I've done that for about 5 years. And a year ago, I come back to what my passion was, which is community. I've always sort of wanted to come back, and I found a fantastic organisation that fitted for what I believed in. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. It's something out of my comfort zone because it was around families and stuff. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make a difference because I'm a great believer. Families are the lost victims. Do you know what? They're the ones that they get left behind. They're the ones that don't get the support. You know, they're the ones. I've had lots of conversations with my mum, you know, and she said, you know, the best thing about you being all right, she said, is that I can go to sleep at night. I don't panic every time that phone rings thinking, is this it? Is this the call? You know, because sadly I lost my brother through addiction as well. And I thought, I'm going to go for it. And it's the best thing that I've ever done. I've absolutely loved working with families and setting up support network. I think that vision in UU, bringing organisations together and actually going in the same direction really sold it for me, you know, because you have little organisation here, little organisation there, one over there. And I know for me, Unity Recovery, right, I didn't need to. It was a barrier if I went to one organisation and they said, you know what, I can do this, but you're going to have to get the courage and the confidence to walk up the street and knock on the next door and ask them for help as well. And then get a little bit for them and then have to go over to the next organisation. New Youth for me is all about a holistic approach to recovery. You know, it's about that actually having lots of different avenues and lots of things available. And for me, that sold it to me, I think. But yeah, no, I think worked over the last 12 months in North Lancashire to set up support networks for families to make sure that, you know, they're getting the support, do that through one-to-ones and group work. I think working with you in the beginning was hard work because we were all coming together, but we didn't know what direction we were all supposed to be heading in. So we're all sort of trying to find the direction. I think, you know, one of the good things that has come for COVID is that I think we actually have started working together and gelling a lot more because we're not over there or over there. We're in each other's living rooms.
Yeah.
I can see what you're doing.
If you've got your screen on, that is.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, do you know what? I've enjoyed it. And I think I've enjoyed starting working with you guys with the family stuff and working with Lorna. I think that's going really well. And I think that's what it's all about. Yeah. It's about giving families choice, you know, but also why don't we bring them together as well so they can get a bit of best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me. I think I'm just passionate about making a difference, mate.
And you do, Mags, and you do, darling, and you've got a lot of love coming in from Little Dale legend, they're calling you. I remember Mags right back in the day when I was chair of Love, and I said, please come and help me chair the North, and you was like, oh, go on then. But the Families Supergroup, Mags, with Emerging Futures and Families Matters, which is a mutual aid families meeting, that's on a Wednesday, isn't it?
It is. We are running the one on a Wednesday, and that's on at 10:30. Guys, if any families are out there, please feel free to join that. You can, you know, get the information either for Red Rose or for Emerging Futures. Plug in. That's one thing I would say. What I love about families, I thought there'd be a massive difference working with a family member and an addict, and there's not, because it's all about health and well-being. Do you know what? It's all about building resilience and having health and well-being. So for me, it's been fantastic to get family members to start focusing on themselves and say, well, how are you? How are you eating? How are you sleeping? Have you been to the doctors? Are you keeping to your appointments? Do you know what I mean? And just bringing it back to them. and getting them to look at actually what are their goals in life, where do they want to move forward to, because I think it's all resilience building stuff.
It is, and there's a lot of families that are struggling out there, especially at the minute on lockdown as well. I know that there's been like quite a few referrals coming in for the mutual aid meetings, but I've also that have ended up in the super group with the Emerging Futures because of us working together. You know, like you said about the good thing about COVID is it's forced us to really. On the digital platform.
Hiya, Susie. We can see you watching. Hit the like and share button, Susie Knowles. But just on that, Magsborough, I just want to say I really appreciate you for you. And it's like, you probably don't know this, but I've admired you for a long, long time. You've been a massive inspiration and a source of support. Sometimes, you know, you've just been there at the right moment to say the right thing, and I'm grateful for that, because you have been a consistent
member of the Luff
right away from you know, years and years and years ago. So I just want to say on a personal note, I think you're awesome, and thank you.
Aww. Thank you.
And you have got, so Joe Duckfield is sending big love. Ray Jenkins is dead proud of you, Mags. Kevin Horton, go on, Mags, recovery legend. Lorna's loving working with you. So much love for this lady off Jill Stokes. Bob Brown, love the family and wellbeing focus. So Bob and Karen. Bob, are you on Karen's Facebook page? Bob, hi, Karen Brown.
And we've got
Blackpool in the house.
Julie Cahill. Hiya, Julie. We know you're going to come on the show one week as well, aren't you? And tell your story. So you're welcome.
But families is really important, you know, and I've got my addiction is a corroding thread through mine as well. So there's a lot of people out there, and that's wives, sisters, brothers, husbands, wives that are suffering. So there is somewhere, and I don't know who I'm talking to tonight,
Might be Claire Kennedy, because I know she's watching.
Hi, Claire, but I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. But if it is you out there that is struggling as a family member or a concerned other of somebody who is in alcoholic, torture, or drug addiction, then there is help for you out there. And we are online, we are on Zoom. There's 3 families meetings a week. And Mags, is there anything else from
do you know what? Pretty much, you family members, I think, do you know what? Yeah, please get in touch. Please get some support for yourself. You know, you're not the only one in this position, and the amount of family members that have said to me, I thought I was the only person, you know, and I think there is a lot of shame around asking for help and accepting, you know, get in contact.
And how do they get in contact with you, Mags?
So go on the Emerging Futures website, national website. You will find the number to ring us, and it will get through to whatever area you're in. So it'll get through to the right person. Same for any guys, because we don't just do family support. We do the recovery coaching, the family coaching, the training for guys as well. If anybody's interested in that, if anybody wants to give back and wants to train with us, then please get in contact as well. That is on the Emerging Futures website as well. The application form's there. And it's a fantastic 5-day training course. You don't need to volunteer with us at the end of it. It's not a commitment, but we'd love you to, you know. But if you want to take that experience and that education and go and take it to your own organisation or back into the community and use it, then that's fine as well. But
which is absolutely what we did with the recovery coaching. We absolutely took it. Massive shout out to Damien Grainer and Ray Jenkins. Absolutely love those guys. But Damien, we just took the coaching and I don't think we trained 1,500.
Yeah, we mashed it up, didn't we? We mashed it up big time.
Yeah. Tony Lee saying, Mags, you're a massive inspiration to him since 2012. Hi, Ollie J, Mark Jones, Dan Littlechild, the recovery coaching is brilliant. Yes, we know. So not only do Emerging Futures do the family coaching, they are coaching recovery coaches. Is that in North and Central as well, Mags?
That is North and Central Lancs, yeah. We do many other things, but I'll let Jay explain those.
Okay then, so hand Jay, that's a nice slip to you, dude.
Thanks for that, Mags. That was a good intro, that. Slips us straight in. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sound. So, talk about intimacy and all that and being in each other's front rooms. I think you have just witnessed me eating fish chips and peas. Unfortunately, I couldn't share it with you, but I can recommend the local chippy. It was really good. So that's what I was doing with a fork. So, why are we here tonight? I'm going to start with, I think when we explain or try to explain or present what is New You, it sort of like makes me chuckle inside, because what is New You? And for me, the way I see it, it is what it says on the tin. There's an opportunity here to find a newer version of yourself, you know, and it's sort of from top to bottom, from the top of services all the way down to key workers, community connectors and all that. We're beginning to get on the same page. You know, we're focusing not on the substance. We recognize the substances, but we're looking at the person or persons or communities who are presented to us. So I sort of like really, really like the idea of New You, and I get lit up inside because we started with a blank canvas. You know, we all had our little bits of like professionalism and sort of the family side, the service user side, the sports side, the health and well-being, the back to work, you know, the peer-led stuff. And it's pulling us, with us guys who are in New You contracts, who are in services, pulling us all together so we can start promoting what we're promoting, really, start living what we're promoting, you know, leading by example in the communities. And I think it's really important that, because it breaks down a lot of barriers. It would for me anyway, contemplating coming into services, you know. So my thing about New You is, you know, services in general, you know, don't seem to focus. There's no focus on prevention, you know, but when we're out there in the communities engaging and building and maintaining and fostering relationships in hard to reach areas across Lancashire, we're building rapport with people and that, you know, we're sort of like an early intervention. We can encourage people and get alongside people before they start hitting the pharmacies, before they start presenting at GPs and surgeries, before they get to that stage where they've got chronic liver failure and DVTs and methadone and Suboxone and alcohol detoxes. You know, with our focuses, the New You is focusing on the 5 ways to well-being. It's about, where are you now? How is your environment impacting on you? And how can we encourage you to change your circumstances? And it's really important that for me anyway, and I love it. It's about empowering people and sort of helping them to identify and nurture their own assets within themselves. Because I thought asset-based community development was finding a building and going to be able to work out of, you know, but it's in us. We're the assets. We are the assets. The assets are in us, you know, and we all, it's like a really nice all-you-can-eat buffet. You know, I like food, so I will always make reference to dining, fine dining. And we all bring a little bit to the party. A bit of Pete's accent there. So yeah, you know, the family stuff is going fantastic. You know, if there's any family members who have been afflicted with anyone, a significant other in trauma or addiction, or impacted with mental health and all that sort of stuff, get in touch. You know, the information's out there on social media. All our details and contact details are there. You know, all this information is out there. What is New You? It's a group of individuals who have been contracted to come together and go and support communities and members in them communities. And most importantly, hard to reach areas. So it's got to be the right people in contracts who are in service now working in these communities, because, you know, through trial and error, services have been into these communities before. And for whatever reason, it's not been facilitated. It's felt. It's fell. But, you know, as a team, the 7 providers, we've been in Clayton Brook now for nearly over a year. And we sat there, me and Diane at first, we opened the doors on the community centre and we sat there for 3 weeks and no one come in. No one. 1 day a week, but we were there. We had a presence and we said we're going to stay and see where this goes. So within the space of 12 months, there's 2 food clubs going now. There's family support, there was triage, there was yoga, all the health and well-being. When lockdown come, we thought, right, what we're going to do now, how are we going to maintain and foster these relationships? Because we don't just want to pull the shutters down and then start again. We want to continue with these relationships we've built in these communities. And that's what we've been able to do with the food clubs and that. You know, we've been able to identify people who are at a point where they need rehab or they need detox and support them into that process. And we've had some fantastic outcomes, but most importantly, the guys who we've engaged with have had fantastic outcomes. You know, there's been some really good points for discussion what have come up for me tonight whilst I've been listening. You know, what is recovery? What does recovery mean to you? For me, it's not just about, I used to think it was about, you know, like not using pins, coming away from services, smoking a bit of weed at weekend, and, you know, going down that route and that, and then it's abstinence. But that again was a focus on the substances rather than me. What have I recovered? I haven't used the mood or mind altering substance now for over 6 years, and I don't say that for applaud and acclaim. I honestly don't. I say it because 2 guys come into an institution 13 years ago and said that to me and spoke about their life journeys through mutual aid, and that it spoke to me. It went straight through. I heard it. 2 men come into Lancaster prison and shared their story through mutual aid and how they got well. And that's sort of like what woke me up and got me on the recovery path. My thing with services was when I first started using way back when in Bolton, all the drug team at that time could offer me was a prescription of methadone, but I had to wait for 18 months. I was like, what about tomorrow morning? You know, it's like it was, but things have evolved now and things have changed. Where the interventions been most beneficial for me with regards to services is that they've gone into prisons, the recovery landings and recovery services coming into the prisons. That's why I've been involved with recovery landings and all that sort of stuff. And that's where I've started to get well and started to wake up. So yeah, you know, sat here now working as part of the news youth. I could spend hours on it. I swear, it's my passion. I love the idea of the new you because it's give us all a kick up the arse. The excuse is gone. It's not for me. It's not right. What's recovery? You know, no. The excuses are being removed from both the professional side and the service user side, the person who needs support, and the communities. So I sort of love it. I'm a massive advocate for all partners within the new you. I think we're all it's not really swore then. We're all brilliant. Yeah. So, you know, building and maintaining relationships. I hope you guys have been taking notes and you can pin me down on some of this stuff because I don't just want to rant. I probably could, but I don't want to. I'll share a little bit of me quickly, right? 11-year-old, I introduced myself, how do you do, to THC. You know, a bit of wacky-backy on the bus on the way back from school. And the last thing I put down with a crack pipe, the benzos, none of the blue ones, alcohol, and whatever else was on the table. And I liked it all, you know, because it offered me a solution. You know, it stopped me living in this. It gave me a sense of purpose. I thought it gave me a sense of direction, you know, but it was a lie. You know, I was unemployable. I was, you know, homeless, you know, living in a recycling bin in Blackburn full of cardboard. You know, that's my best efforts of looking after myself. And I spent over 22 years in prison and I come through the care system. So that negative self-talk to me, whatever good stuff you said to me and tried to encourage me, it was going nowhere because I didn't feel it about myself. I didn't believe it about myself. I had nothing. I attended all the courses and it seemed like a good idea. and it was all right for you, but it wouldn't work for me because I'm a piece of shit and I'm worthless. That was my truth. And I really wanted it. And I really, really wanted it sometimes. And sometimes I had hold of it, but then it fell away. You know, I got introduced seriously to recovery 13 years ago, and I'm only 6 years free of mood and mind-altering substances now. So that's a story in itself. It wasn't until I placed myself at the centre of my recovery, and I surrounded myself with people. Whatever recovery journey you go on, it's got to involve, my opinion, is other people who want the same thing. And that's what I've done. I put myself at the centre of it. I started to wake up, and I've gone down the faith route and all me. I do the mutual aid, big book of AA, and I go to Narcotics Anonymous to be of service and all that sort of stuff. But I'm pretty much involved with Celebrate Recovery and all, which is a 12-step Jesus-centered program, and we do that over in Blackburn. So I'm massively, God's at the centre of what I do. That's where my gratitude is. And what I do 9 to 5, yeah, is about putting steam on the table, but I put everything into it. And why I put everything into it is because it's an expression of my gratitude for what's been done for me freely, you know, through faith, and for them 2 addicts who come into Lancaster Castle and shared their experience, strength and all with me, and left me with a little bit of hope. So if you've got questions for me or any comments, just feel free. If I can't answer it, I'll just tell you, I'll be honest. But
Thanks, Jay. You've got a lot of love coming in. Ray Jenkins said you're a star, Jay. Love the message. We're all mad, meaning an acronym of making a difference. Nice one, Ray. I'll have that for free. Peter Abbott, Christine Barker, Joseph Adshead. Hey, Joseph, how are you, dude? God, that's a blast from the past. Lifeline stuff, that. So some old and new faces in the room. Susie Knowles is saying, brilliant, Jay. You've got a lot of love coming in. And just because you did mention there, and something dear to my heart as well, is God, I just want to bring in the one, the only, Mr. Mick Fleming for the word of the week.
Good evening. Thank you. Thanks for having me on again. I think it's been pretty brilliant what I've heard tonight, and it's I kind of think for me, I can't remember how long I've been in recovery, but it's over 10 years. I forgot the dates and I don't know, but it's been a long time. It feels like a long time anyway. But all the programs and everything else, and I couldn't think myself better. And everybody was telling me lots of different things, and I had loads of conflicting advice and everything else. I couldn't feel myself better, and I couldn't think myself better. And then I read this in the Bible, and I didn't really know what it meant at the time. It just got my head going. And it's a little piece from Romans 12, verse 2. And it simply just says, do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And I thought, well, don't conform to this world. What does that mean? What does that mean for Mick here and now? There and it's been really, really simple for me. I don't fit in. And I don't have to, and that's all right, you know. And I'll tell you what, not conforming to this world has done for me. It's taken me from a violent, suicidal, crack smoking, psychotic person that hurt people for a living into somebody that only wants to love. All I want to do is to love, because my mind's been transformed. I haven't conformed to the world. I refuse to fit in. I absolutely refuse to fit in with the things that are happening in the world that are bad and they're wrong. I'm not having it. I'm not going to do it. And I kind of, you know, we talked about this Dancer for Cancer thing, and so Sarah, my partner's got cancer. My ex-wife died not long ago of cancer, and she refuses. She point blank refuses to fit into this little box that says she's ill and she's this and she's that and the other. She won't conform to the world. She'll dance and she'll smile and she'll keep going. And when you do that, when you don't conform to the world, community starts to be built. So what's happened in that instance is that people are dancing and they're putting it on Facebook, and I hope more people do it because it's amazing. They're having a laugh and everything else. But what's happening is they're contacting us. Got people who are terminally ill and they're dying and they've lost faith, or they're asking questions about what happens if they die. Does the lights just go out? They're changing. The minds and the hearts are changing. Not conforming to the world for me means that I can either have plenty of money in my pocket, I can have no money in my pocket, I can be hungry, or I can be full. And I'm still full of love, and I still feel the same. I'm not defined by my circumstances anymore. And that's all I was. I was only defined by my circumstances. So we've had a battle for a night shelter for homeless people for just over a year. And all the authorities told me, they said that it can't happen, it won't happen, there's no money, there's not a need, there's not enough homeless people, there's not this. I wouldn't conform to the world because they were wrong and there was a need. And when I hold people in my arms whilst they die and they tell me there's no need, that's not conforming. I'm not conforming. And we've just found out there's going to be a night shelter, a form of a night shelter. They're going to do it. We've pushed and prodded for all this time. And that's going to happen. That's been created. The council will run it. They're going to do it, so we don't have responsibility. We have input. That's going to happen because we refuse to conform. So the message today is don't conform to the world. The sin, the badness, the stuff that's in it. Just remember this above all else. It's impossible for everybody to think positive all the time. And if you think, oh, all I've got to do to stay clean, I've just got to think positive all the time. Well, good luck with that, because you're going to fail. Because it's impossible. But your circumstance don't have to define who you are and what you become. And when you accept that, your mind starts to change. Your thinking starts to change by itself. And it becomes about us. And community is born and it's grown. And it creates a wonderful, wonderful thing and an expression of itself. So I'll just say it again, just to finish off. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And the geezer that said that said it 2,000 years ago. And that guy used to kill Christians. He was a murderer. And he had an encounter on a road. And he met the living God. And he changed. And he went and he spent the rest of his life not conforming. And he gave his life to not conform. So I just invite you to give your life not to conform to the bad in the world. And your mind will change by itself. And you'll stay free from addiction. And everybody else will prosper from that. And when they're prospering, you'll become free. And I just thank you. I thank you for that. I thank you for having me on. It's just wonderful that you allow somebody like me to come on and to speak. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And that's the word of the week.
Oh, thank you so much, Mick. You are a gift. You're a blessing. Everyone's got so much love for you. Diane Seville, hi love. Mick Fleming, you make my Saturday complete. Lorna loves the scripture. Make love not war. Love is the answer. And you know, when you hit that awakening where it isn't about what you can get. You just become altruistic and you just give, and your time is given freely. It's like when you're in the thick of it, you just never think of anything but yourself. It really is a beautiful thing. So thank you for that, Mick, and thanks for reminding us that, you know, our objects don't decipher who we are. Objects come and they go. But you
Don't forget, keep
postcode.
dancing. Keep dancing. Let's see them Dancers for Cancers. Keep it going. Keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling. Dancing for Cancer. Absolutely. Over 1 million views as well.
Nice.
No, I love that, Mick, the way you've brought it to the people, you've brought it to the street.
Yeah.
You don't need to have an internet connection or a smartphone. You've brought that resource to people. And by doing so, you've brought a little joy into their world. So you keep it going, Mick.
Thank you.
More power to you.
God bless. God bless. We're gonna get an Indian now, I think, hopefully.
Hey, that's the one.
Yeah, eating, as Jay said, it's important. It's important that we look after ourselves. Recovery isn't just about, you know, about substances and absence from substances or mats. You know, it's about looking after our nutrition as well as our physical, emotional, mental health.
What are you playing with there? It's like we've got a little snack bag.
I know, I have something for Dan, but Dan has had to go. But I just want to present this. So Dan Sale, we love you dearly. We're really looking forward to you fitting back where you belong. And you will be on the training on the 15th. And we just want to present you with this, which is a Fearless Speaker badge. Because it takes a lot of courage to come on here and share your life and get vulnerable and feel exposed. It takes a lot of courage. So I thank all of the guests every single week for the past 14 weeks we've been doing this that have come on and bared the soul, because it's only then when we can be authentic and real that we can get real connection with people. So nice one, Dan. Thank you so much.
And that's the bronze edition. You can go for the silver and the gold, and we've even got a platinum one.
And we do deliver training, speaker training.
But there's a few levels of training. You know, and we wanted to put that training on because we were seeing people being asked to share their story, sometimes in quite intimidating settings, and you know, organisations was putting people forward, and we said that's great. You know, we want to see more of that, but put some training, wrap some training around people so that you can skill them up to do that. And it's pretty much like the recovery coaching. It's been well received, hasn't it? Everyone who's been on that speaker bootcamp training, doesn't matter what level you're at, we assess where you're at and make sure you get the skills accordingly.
And it's about creating a space to give people permission to shine.
Well,
and have
talking
a
of
space
shining, because you're responsible for putting recovery coaching on the map in Lancashire. I just want to put that out there. Emma was responsible. The numbers around the people you trained went through the roof. But you're in a different role now, aren't you?
I am, yes.
You're in a role that captures, close to my heart, captures the voice of the service users. And I'm just interested what your take on the new you is.
Okay, so my take on the new you is that...
And what's your part in it?
Right, so I manage a team of 4. I have an awesome team. Massive shout out to Lorna Simpson, massive shout out to Lynn Sutter, massive shout out to Lee Allen, and someone I cannot name but who is amazing. I have a team and I couldn't do it without my team. But they're based in North and Central Lancashire and they collect the voice of the service users. We work with district managers on themes. So in Preston at the minute, we're looking at the entrenched, we're looking at the homeless population and getting their voice and what does service look like to them in the future, what's good, what's not so good, what are the barriers to people coming into treatment. That's a whole series that we could do a whole series on the barriers to people accessing treatment.
Well, can we take this opportunity to acknowledge how brave that Inspire as an organisation is to outsource service user voice to an independent organisation?
Well, when I finished what my role is, I was going to come to that.
just in case you forgot.
Yes, well, so we work in Lancaster, Morecambe, Fleetwood, St Anne's, Preston, Chorley and Skem. And there is a lot of service users access Inspire. Now, what I love about the new you is the visionary. Okay, so the vision, somebody has seen that certain peer-led organisations within the recovery community have expertise. They have technical expertise in their field. And the visionary has brought them together around one table, because I think historically we've said we're working together, but that wasn't really happening, if we're honest. It wasn't happening at all. Everyone had their own KPIs. Now, to force us round a table together was a genius idea, which Mags touched on it before, took a little while for us to sink into, and due to us being on a digital platform now, we have no choice but to all come together. And if you look at Lancashire as the forward-facing, leading part of the world, you know, nationally, when it comes to the recovery community and the recovery movement, which we are head and shoulders above the rest of the nation, you know, we are in Lancashire. I am proud to say I'm from Lancashire. I'm proud to say I'm part of the new youth team as well, because we're doing something different. Never before has an organisation been commissioned, and contracted to deliver the voice of the service user with a team within Inspire. Ever.
No.
So,
Yeah. Not independent, because they normally would keep that in-house, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but I do also think that Red Rose and the Lancashire User Forum are renowned for telling the truth. You know, and if a service user said something's shit, then we're going to say it is. We're not going to sugarcoat it and say it's anything else.
There was a service user event, wasn't there, where the chief exec came down and he said, you know, as a strategy, I want to make sure the voice of the service users informs the direction the organisation goes. And he said, why would you not in any other area of business? If you don't listen to your consumers, you will rapidly find out that your business is going
absolutely
in the wrong direction. And I just thought it's not just about it being a good business sense. It's the right thing to do, and that come across really loud and clearly.
There's loads of love coming in for the team as well, guys. You know, and I know they go above and beyond. I know Lauren has been feeding everyone over in St Anne's. They've got the service user groups up and running on Zoom. They've got 2 a week now. Then there is the outreach work in Preston. Also, we're going to do a piece of work in Lancaster. So if you're watching and you're from Lancaster and you're a service user, I need you.
Margaret, sorry, I don't want to go without saying hello. Thank you for watching. I love you, Margaret Jackson.
Comment if you are a service user from Lancaster. Comment in the comments box, because there is no Inspire service in Lancaster anymore. So what we want to find out is how are people getting on, how they're finding it, what does it look like in the future, and a massive, massive shout out. And I have to say to all the frontline staff who have been handing out the scripts, redoing all the scripts, the doctors who are in working tirelessly to get the scripts to our guys.
Read that out of Peter Abbott there.
I'm just proud to have found you all. Well, we're proud that you're in the room, Peter. Big love. And I just want to say, I'm really passionate about the service user voice. I really am, and I always will be, because everyone has got potential. And just because they're in a homeless shelter, and just because some of them are a nuisance to society, it does not mean that they have no potential and there's no hope for them, because there absolutely is. I believe in them, and I will go and give them a laptop so that they can access just meetings like everybody else in the recovery community. How the hell else are they meant to find recovery?
Can I just come in, Emma?
Absolutely, Glenn.
So there's a comment here from Diane Seville to inform Mick that she's going to donate a 50-inch TV to him for somebody that's in active recovery. And also, I want to give Peter Abbott a shout out, because he's been coming on to groups. He's new to Red Rose Recovery, and I know that he's been struggling over the last few days. But he's reached out today, and he's found obviously tonight really informative, and just want to give them a massive shout out, really. But yeah.
Nice one, thank
Brilliant.
you, Glenn. Also, Cody, I think Cody came in before and said that he found loads of help on here last year. There's always a solution in these rooms, guys. So, Wendy Dagger, hello, same second name as mine, Nearly, without the S.
So,
Wheel of Fortune.
New you, I just want to touch on, we've got the Wheel of Fortune coming, so hit the like and share button. But I think that, you know, when you're saying we wasn't working together, I think we was and we are to the best of our abilities.
No, I beg to differ.
But the system creates competition to drive up performance.
I'm a truth teller, and that's why I'm an asset, because I'll tell the truth from the most loving place possible. You know, it really is, you know, we said about working together. And from, back in the early 2000s, before the drug strategy came out in 2010, everything was CDT based. There wasn't any recovery, anything out there. And as organisations started to pop up, it wasn't about cohesion, it wasn't about working together, it was about surviving themselves. But Inspire and the visionaries thought, get them all in a room around a table, because they are all good at what they do. They're all gifts to each other.
Emma, can I just come in briefly?
Of course you can, Lal.
I probably didn't start with the basics at the beginning, so I just wanted to name the partner agencies. So you've got The Well, you've got Emerging Futures, you've got yourselves, Red Rose. Recovery Works were part of it, but they've become part of CGL. You've got Tempo Time Credits, which I don't know if your listeners know what that is, but it's a bit like money. And if you put something into the community, you'll get a voucher and you can use it in various activities. There's Active Lancashire, of course. So that was just something I probably should have started with. And the other bit about what Jason was talking about, the community hubs, that The Well went out and Emerging Futures went out and sourced, so that we could reach areas that were not close to your drug teams. And just finally, one area, like Jay mentioned, Clayton Brook, an area where you've got Active Lancashire in there, you've got The Well in there, you've got Emerging Futures. So this is the bit where the good practice, that's an example of a gold standard, a great building, partner agency working, and this is a journey. So we're only at the start of it. So it's just that, because some people might be listening thinking, we still don't know what they're talking about.
Well, you did invite all the partners on, didn't you, Lal? Let's just double check you did.
We'll revisit that.
Yeah. So, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Can I just come in there? Just talking about what Lal was talking about with the hubs. I think any of you guys that are watching, that would be probably your best point of contact. Get involved in some of the hubs. There's how many's on a week? 3. There's 4 hubs on every Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, you can get involved in any of the hubs, and that's where you'll be able to link in with the CSI, with Emerging Futures, with The Well, because we're all in there. Yeah. And it's not specific to area anymore. The great thing about Zoom is anybody can access from any area. So you're more than welcome to access any of those 4 and find out all the information, and then we'll filter you to who you need to speak to within New You as well. Yeah.
Thanks, Mags.
Thank you.
And just wrapping up now, because I know we're just 5 minutes over. There is some service user rep training coming up, and we've got some names over to you, haven't we, Lal? We're looking to deliver that on the 15th with Mo. So if you are from North and Central Lancs, Dan, I'm going to add you to the list as well, and you're interested in becoming a rep, just let me know and we'll get your name down. And on that note,
Glenn, can I ask where we are with the Wheel of Fortune and who won last week?
Yeah, so last week's winner was Rachel Vallis, and we've reached out to her. And she's commented back. She's from Portsmouth, so and has the voucher that she's asked for is on the way to Rachel Vallis in Portsmouth.
Oh, wicked! Well done, Rachel.
Well done, Rachel.
She did say that she'd be tuning in today, so and she's probably heard that. So well done, Rachel, if you are watching.
Yeah, well done, Rach. And just quickly letting you know that Lorna, start of the month Simpson, is saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday groups. So there's groups every day, families groups, families meetings, which is mutual aid, anonymous mutual aid. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There are 2 lots of women's groups now. Us women need women. 2 lots of women's groups now going on because there was a need for it, thanks to the referrals coming in from Inspire, Nice One, Lisa Corkill, and
Right, you're doing
Leah.
it with the hands again, aren't you?
You're interrupting me because...
You're doing all that all over my face. You know, protective of my airtime. This side of the screen is mine, right?
We need to draw a line on it
If you
then.
come into my space, I'll have a problem with that. Unless you're coming in to give me some love. That's okay, if you're going to do that. I need a bit of love. I just get it whenever I want it, though, can't I? It's there.
You just got to reach in and grab it.
Just got to reach in and grab it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Men. It's for the man then, that's how you do it. Glenn, give us an idea where we're up to this week.
So before I go on to the Wheel of Fortune, then can I just say that obviously if you like and share, you've got up until next Saturday to like and share this video. You will enter the prize giveaway where a £20 voucher of your choice will be sent to you. So this week, bear with me, I've already pre-populated it. Can you all see that? Yeah? Come on, don't be shy, speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. So, here we go. So this is for a £20 voucher, and it will be on its way to yourself, whoever wins this one.
Oh, who's watching?
Danny Boy Thomas.
Danny Boy Thomas. I'm not aware of the name, but I will reach out to you.
Oh, Danny Boy, nice one for sharing, love.
There we go. So well done, Danny Boy. I'll try and reach out to you on Facebook. If not, contact myself at Glenn.
If you know Danny Boy, drop him a text or a message and say you've won. What's he won, Glenn?
He's won a £20 voucher.
£20 voucher. That's all right for liking and sharing, isn't it?
It's all right, isn't it?
20 quid.
Not bad.
I killed for that back in the day.
So next week there's a £20 voucher up as well, isn't there, Glenn, for liking and sharing?
Yeah. That's what I was just saying. If you've got all week to do it, if you like and share this video, then you'll enter the prize giveaway for next week. So, but you can't do it by just sharing it. You've got to like as well.
So that we know who you are.
Yep.
Okay, talking with your hand shows passion, Emma. I know, mate. I say this all the time. It's because I'm cutting off his face. He likes to look at himself.
Well, I don't do all that. I
You're
would
not
never
passionate,
be
you know.
as like.
But you can be.
But I wouldn't. I just would not.
Right, this will be an ongoing argument.
It's like when you're doing this is a top tip for Speaker Bootcamp. It's like when you're doing a talk to professionals and you've got your projector behind. You don't walk in front of the projector, do you? You point with your left hand to the screen. And you won't point with your right hand like that. What are you saying up there? You do it like that. And these are just TV tips for live streamers.
Right,
you know.
so this guy's now a TV expert.
These are just, hand over to Glenn, and it's over to Glenn for the live.
But I must say, I've got to say that one of the 3 things that we said, people come back and watch, and we're getting over 5,000, we've had up to 10k views, is because we are interesting, authentic and unpredictable. So thank you very much.
And that's one of that's what I thought with Dan. You know, we kept it real tonight, didn't he?
Well
He
done,
shared,
Dan. We love you.
He put it out there because I've heard things that get talked about. I know my fingers on the pulse. I listen to the perceptions of people when they talk about the purple rooms.
Big up to Jack.
Dan's put himself out there tonight, and I just want to say, in our book, he's a hero, isn't he?
He is, and I see him on Monday.
And they're like your babies now, aren't they? You've like adopted the purple rooms, residences.
Yeah, I get very protective over them. I do.
Okay, so news. Have we got any news for next week? What's current? What's happening? And this is for anyone. I mean, I want to say I've been chipping away at the EPC crew, people who are partnering to eliminate hepatitis C. So watch this space because in a few weeks a pilot's going to start in the east where we have got a little bit of money and will incentivise people like we did with the Naloxone. You know, we made sure that the money we generated got to the people who have privileged access to that community. They was paid and they went out and did a...
with the Euro input, you mean?
With Euro input, yeah.
Yeah,
you know, we made sure that resource for the people came through us to the people. Well, similar concept is happening with hepatitis C. We've got a little bit of money and we will invest that money to incentivise people to catch hold of, a group of people who hit a checklist and may very well have hepatitis C and understand that's why I'm feeling a bit lethargic, or that's why I'm falling asleep all the time. I've got hepatitis C and I didn't know about it because there's still people out there who have. So that's a bit of a news flash. Watch this space, get involved, ask questions. I love what you said, Jay, about pin me down because I don't just want to, flap my gums and go on a rant.
Be accountable.
I'm here to make myself accountable. I love that, Jay. So more power to you for that, mate.
Yeah.
And we've got the lights. Sorry, we've got the auditions for the Recovery's Got Talent that Bev's been pulling together.
I know.
Can't wait for that to come.
I can't. I'm just looking at the time. I'm going to have to scoot because I've got a meeting in Israel at 7:30. How great is that?
That's awesome.
Got to shoot over to Israel for a bit.
Boss that, innit? Boss.
I love this platform. I was in Jerusalem the other morning.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I've never been to Jerusalem in my life with all my pals from Jerusalem.
Yeah, cool. It's brilliant, innit?
Yeah.
£100 you can win for that Recovery's Got Talent, and I'm just putting it out there now. I do not mind if you want to take the mickey.
Andy Thornton.
Andy, that's fine. Go for it. Do your worst, man. It's all in a good cause.
Blessing. Thank you to everyone that's come on tonight. Love Emerging Futures. Massive shout out to Ray, Sonia, I love you, and the people that have gone before, Damien Green and Peter Sheath, Trisha, and all the crew over in Crew as well. And Lisa Graney will be on next week. So we're in for a treat. Any other business?
Well, all the people watching, really.
Of course.
You're why we do it.
Yeah.
If you've got any comments, any feedback, go onto the website. Fill in our survey. It helps us capture data.
And any service users in North and Central that want to fill out Survey Monkey, let me know. Have your voice heard.
Yeah, if you want to see specific topics, specific speakers, input, one of the things... Right, we're gone. We're gone now because it's time.
It's like 7:00.
Stay safe, stay blessed.
Love you. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
a lot.
Do it, babe.